he giving us mics?
Okay.
Do we have mics? Hello. Hey, folks.
Okay, got it. Dentist and funeral. Thank you. All right, bye.
Hey, folks. Can y'all hear me?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, give
Mine's
us
a little louder.
Yours is louder.
Mine's
Go
louder.
ahead. Go ahead.
We still have a lot of people rolling in, so we're going to postpone just a couple minutes, but we do want to be respectful of your time. We realize it's 6:32. If you know anybody that's trying to find parking, you can use the funeral home, or they can use the funeral home and the, what else are they can, and the dentist office. So text them, tell them that they're free to park over there, unless that's full too. I don't know, but a couple more minutes because they're still flowing in here. So continue about your conversations. Hello, hello, hello. There's some seating up front. This isn't actually church service, so you are allowed to sit up front, or you can go upstairs. Everything in the loft is open as well, and there's absolutely nobody up there. So you can take either stairs up to the loft if you want. What do you think? Give them another couple minutes?
I probably would give 2 more minutes.
All right, 2 more minutes, and then we're going to get started. If you need an agenda, wave your hand. We have some lovely helpers that are passing those agendas out, so get your hand up if you don't have one, please.
Are you wanting me to test this? Okay, folks, go ahead and grab y'all seats.
Last call for an agenda. If you need it, wave your hand nice and high. Anybody that needs an agenda? One over here, Leanne.
Oh, got one back here.
One over here.
Over here.
Back in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good.
All right. Hey, folks. So we'll get started. So my name is Steve Cox. This is Erica Goodwin. We are grizzled and bitter veterans of 2 previous Levy campaigns. So you pardon us if we're a little direct tonight, but our goal here tonight is to lay some strategy out for you all and get this thing started and hopefully set us off on a very successful Levy campaign. So I feel like I should do a disclaimer at first. I think most of you know this at this point, but just to be safe, I do not work for Marysville Exempted Village School District in the administration. You don't really either, do you, Erica?
Not anymore.
That's right. We are strictly volunteers. So in this, our group, our Levy group is 100% independent of Marysville schools. So we are not in charge. It's a shame we're not in charge because, like the geniuses on Marysville People in the Know, I am sure that Eric and I could fix everything in a couple of days. So, anyway, just kidding. Sorry. All right. So let's talk about campaign strategy first. A lot of you have helped us with the previous 2 campaigns. This past fall campaign, it was heartbreaking. There were 18,000 people that voted, and we got within 342 votes of winning the campaign. So it was less than 1% was the difference in the campaign. And so that was a heartbreak on the one hand. Frankly, on the other hand, given the feedback we were getting from some of the consultants we talked to, it was awesome that we got that close because the public sentiment really wasn't trending that direction. So the fact that we got that close was a positive. So then the question after that is, okay, now what? We failed twice. What do we do? What's our plan? So we'll talk about that and talk about the strategy. As you all know, the board has voted. There will be a 5.5 mil operating levy on the ballot, again, in the spring. And that is the same ask that was on the ballot in the fall. One of the things, of course, that you all hear out there is, why are they going back with the same thing? Why not do an income tax? Why aren't we changing? Why isn't this different? And we'll talk about that with the strategy. First of all, that's not our call. Make sure to say that. We're not on the school board either. But at the same time, we 100% support the board's decision to do exactly what they did. When we met with the Levy consultant after the loss that we used the last time, they were their advice to us, because our question to them was, listen, we're going to have to do this again. We're not going to be able to afford you. If you were us, what would you do? And their advice was go straight back on in the spring with the exact same ask. And we'll explain a little bit of the why of that as we go along here, okay? So as we look at the levy this time, at this campaign, when we did the fall one, frankly, we raised a boatload of money, and we were able to do a ton of things with those funds in order to run the campaign. And so we spent a lot of money, did a lot of mailers, did a lot of events, had a very open, very, very public campaign. We're not going to be able to do that this time. After 2 failures, it's understandable people are a little reticent about donating and throwing additional monies at the levy campaign at this point, which we completely understand. But frankly, we think we have a strategy where that's okay, where we will be okay not doing that. The key to the strategy for this time is this. When we were working on this in the fall, our mission that we worked really hard on was identifying people in the community who were Levy supporters, people who said, yes, I am going to vote for this. And we tracked them in a database, and we're able to identify ultimately 5,000 people who said, yes, we are going to vote for the Levy campaign. 4,950 of those 500 are still voters in this district. We know who they are, okay? We know who those folks are. We already know they support a 5.5 mil operating levy. So we have that group identified. In the fall, 92% of those 5,000 ultimately did vote in the election, which was 12% higher than the electorate as a whole. So we actually did better with turnout of our 5,000. Now, the heartbreak is, had that other 8% voted, we would have won. but we did get 92% of them out. So a little over 4,000, 4,200 of those voters ultimately voted, okay? There were, again, 18,000 people that voted in the fall. We ended up getting almost 9,000 yes votes, or 4 votes, by the time it was all said and done. So there were another 4,000 people out there that we didn't identify that also voted for the levy. This spring, I think there will be a good turnout for a spring election. There's no way it's going to be 80%. 80% of the electorate is not coming out in the spring. It just doesn't work that way. When we lost in the spring of 23, there was 30% turnout for that election. So if we assume a 40% turnout this time, if we turn out our voters, those 5,000 people, if we get them to the polls and we get them to vote, we win. And that's the whole thrust of this campaign. And so the whole thrust of this campaign goes away from mailers and big public meetings, town halls, those types of things, and goes to folks like you talking one-on-one with your neighbors, encouraging them to vote, encouraging them to get out, talking to them about, not about trying to change minds. I think most people would probably agree we're past the point where we're going to change minds. I think our community is pretty set on what they believe, and I'm not sure that it's really worth a lot of our time to spend arguing with folks about the levy at this point. But what we do need to do is we need to encourage those who support the schools, who support what we're doing. We've got to get them to vote. I could talk till I'm blue in the face. Erica could talk. But you talking to your neighbor, talking to your parents, talking to your aunts, uncles, whomever, and getting them to get out and vote is going to be much more powerful than what we're doing. So that is what this campaign is going to be about. So it's going to be almost a 100% grassroots campaign. And so we're going to be talking tonight about how exactly we're going to do that. So that is the strategy. What did I miss on the strategy? Did I miss anything? That's the broad strategy. We'll do some other stuff. We'll do some canvassing. We'll do some of those types of things. We'll do some texting. There'll be some of those types of efforts. But most of it's going to be you talking to the people that you commit to talking to get them to the polls. That's what's going to make this thing work for us. So, make sense? So that's strategy. You want to talk about timeline, Erica?
Yes. So you have the important dates at the very bottom of your agenda. Tonight is obviously what we're calling the kickoff. It's here. We need to start talking about the levy in a positive way. Like Steve said, we do not want to focus on any of the naysayers and try to get, caught up in the weeds of social media. And it's going to happen. There's going to be things said, but we're going to go through step by step tonight how to address those people and those comments that are out there. So don't fret. How many of you attended the training that we did last go round when we were at the high school? Awesome.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, we're not going to go through all of that again tonight. We figured most of you were here again and didn't need that. But I want to make sure we recognize some really important people. So we have a committee. It's not just Steve and I. We have a team of people who are super helpful and valuable to everything that we are doing here to try and get this levy to pass. So, Leanne, where are you? Oh, you're still passing out agendas. Leanne helped out quite a bit last go around, and she's back. So she is a face that you'll see out and about quite a bit, probably doing some speaking engagements and things like that. Anything that you want to say, Leanne? Right. Yeah. Shelly, where are you? Shelly and Tara up front here. So like Steve said, our Mind+9, which is a huge part of our strategy, that's where you yourself are going to adopt some others, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, whoever, to get to the polls. Once you've identified them as a supporter, obviously. We're not pushing any naysayers to the polls. But these two lovely ladies are going to be heading that up, so we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Sue, where are you? I thought I saw you come in. So Sue was co-chair last time, and she is still kind of behind the scenes, but just not an official chair role this time. But who else? If you're just on the committee, and maybe you don't have a lead role in something, if you just want to wave so we can say thank you. I know they're here somewhere, but no building leads or staff leads are here? Okay, now they're... you are part of the committee. So thank you to all of you who are stepping up to help, and for all of you for being here too. I know we were supposed to thank you at the very beginning, but thank you now. We really appreciate you. But yes, so
Are you suggesting I didn't do my job?
you did not. No, you were all caught up in like the comedy stuff. I don't know when you got so funny, but
I thought it was funny. So
March 15th, though. Make
wait,
sure
wait,
that you
wait.
put that date on your calendar, because that is the official day that we're putting yard signs out, and then people are really going to start talking. So March 15th, signs go out. Let's see, what else do we have?
So while you're looking,
Yeah.
not to steal your thunder.
No?
Building leads, we mentioned that. So if you've got a child in the school system, at each school, you probably are going to be hearing from somebody, because there is a staff lead and a parent lead, and they are in charge of getting out the vote in their building. So you will be hearing from those folks, and that's going to be part of the grassroots effort. So look for that. You'll get to know those folks, and you'll have opportunities to work directly with them.
Yeah. So you're all here. You obviously want to be involved or help in some way, shape, or form. Like Steve said, we've stripped this down. We really are not going to be hounding you. We're not going to be knocking at your door saying, be here, get involved, go work bingo or whatever else we had you do the last couple attempts. But we do need help with canvassing, who's in charge of canvassing for us? Leanne, and who else? You have a helper. And Scott Hunter, yeah. So you'll be hearing from them, because they are going to need all of your help when it comes to canvassing. So that's huge. That and the Mind Plus 9. Those are the two things that we are going to ask of you, of course, other than voting. But yes.
Yard signs.
And yard signs.
And yard signs. But
What do we need them to do for yard signs? Put it out in their yard?
not until March 15th.
March 15th.
We don't want to peak early here, folks. If you still have your sign from the last go, just hang on. On March 15th, you can put it out. If you haven't got your sign from the last time, or if you just didn't get one the last time and you want one, there will be an opportunity on the website, and you'll have it's within your agenda. You can see where to go. You can request a sign, and we will start putting those out on March 15th. So the goal is to kick this off and really get aggressive about 3-4 weeks, that'll be about 3 weeks ahead of early voting. So that's what we're looking to do. So again, we don't want to peak early. Frankly, lessons learned from like that first spring campaign, we felt like we peaked too early. By the time we got to spring break, it's kind of like, okay, we've kind of done everything. And then the opposition kicked in, and they got a little bit ahead of us. And so we're wanting to hold off until it's closer.
We've learned
to
from
the
our
left.
mistakes.
Right.
Third time's a charm.
There you go.
It's happening.
All right, there you go. So
All right, let's move on. Facts. On the back side of your agenda, Brianna, oh, thank you. Hopefully you brought your glasses. There's some really, really important information here that I think everybody's wanting to know. Everybody wants to know about the cuts. I mean, when it all boils down to it, I think that's the heart and soul of why we want this thing to pass, right? Nobody wants to see these cuts being made. So take a look. It's kind of crazy to see all of this written like this. It's heartbreaking, but it's broken down for you. Elementary school, the impact that this levy will have on just the elementary school. We have kindergarten class size is going to go up to 28 students per teacher. Grades 1 through 4 class sizes can go up to 30 students per teacher. Elimination of music classes from the daily schedule. Same thing for art, same thing for phys ed, and elimination of technology classes from the daily schedule as well. At Creekview, class sizes of 30. Elimination of STEM classes, elimination of phys ed, elimination of tech, and a severe reduction in music classes, eliminating one of the 2 music teacher positions there. At Bunsold, class sizes are going to go up to 35 students per teacher, eliminating all foreign language. That's 2 of 3 of the positions there. Moving 1 of 3 foreign language positions to the high school. Elimination of all family and consumer science classes, and that's eliminating 1 of the 1 teaching positions there. Elimination of all Fab Lab classes, So that's the one position there that will be gone. Elimination of all robotics classes and that teacher. Severe reduction in PE course offerings. And then the biggie at the high school. So class sizes up to 35 as well. Elimination of a history position. The history classes eliminated. You can read through that list there. Elimination of 2 math positions. And then, of course, all those math classes being eliminated. English classes eliminated. Elimination of 2 science positions. Science classes eliminated. Music classes eliminated. So, you know, we knew 30 positions, but now you know which ones specifically. Pretty sure there's a lot of faces here, and it's your position on this list. So we've got to do this, if not for them, for our kids, because I know a lot of these teachers are not just teachers for our kids. They're role models. They're there for our kids in more ways than just their education. So extracurriculars, pay to participate at $575 with no cap for athletics. Pay to participate at $235 with no cap for band and show choir. Theater extracurricular eliminated from the school district. That's Creekview, Bunsold, and the high school play and musical. Let's see, MEVSD average class size for 24 and 25. This makes the school district the 15th highest student to teacher ratio in the state.
That's as of now, correct? It will be the highest in the state if this fails.
Correct.
Now,
I was going to say, yeah.
It's 5th now.
5th. Sorry, I said 15th.
So,
my bad.
Just a thought for y'all. I mean, hey, listen, to me, these are like, somebody hits me with these facts. Like last time, you know, I kept saying, hey, 98% of districts in this state receive more funding per pupil than ours do. And to me, I'm like, okay, really, there's nothing else we need to talk about, right? You got to go vote for this thing. Obviously, that didn't work, did it? So one of the things I would challenge us all with these facts is we can hit people with them. God help you, if you want to get into a debate with someone, you can. One of the things I'll warn you about, our opposition is great at the whataboutisms, and they'll just keep hitting you with those. So one of the things I would challenge everyone here to think about is, what's like the key fact I'm going to talk about that matters to me, that frankly, I can tie to something kind of emotional. And I'm kind of winging it here, but just to throw something out to you on the fly. If you've got a $400,000 house in Marysville right now, this levy would cost you $2.10 a day, okay? Now, I paid $2.65 for a cup of coffee at Panera Bread this morning. So for less than the cost of a cup of coffee for me per day, I could pass this levy. Now, when my daughter went to this school, she graduated last year. By the time she got to the 7th grade, she was in free fall. She was struggling. We frankly thought there was no way that my daughter would ever be able to attend a 4-year college. We were just trying to get her through high school, if we could. The teachers in this district, to a person, everybody, embraced my daughter, put together an individual learning plan for her, and they made it happen for her. So that not only was she a successful student through high school, she's now a freshman in college, and she is going to get a 4-year degree in college. And it would not have happened if it wasn't for the teachers in this district. And damn it, that is worth $2.10 a day. And that is my key fact. So, thank you. Pardon my language. I'm normally a lot worse. Hopefully I don't leave this thing on at some point and really say something really bad. Anyway, but that's some type of an emotional hook that says, listen, this is what this is about. And this is important. And you may think, well, it's not a big deal. It's only 30 teachers. Well, some of those 30 teachers are the one that saved my daughter. So we've got to do this for them. And that is the message I would deliver to everybody I talk to when they tell you, oh yeah, I'll get out and vote, I'll get out. No. I want you to get out to vote today. And here's why you got to get out and vote today. Okay?
And Steve's not the only one with a story.
Right. Everybody's got
We
one.
need everybody to share those stories, and that's going to be part of our campaign strategy. You need to speak up. Whatever your story is, I don't care if it's one teacher, if it's 10 teachers, share it. Don't be afraid to get we have Erin Morrison. I'm so sorry, I didn't even acknowledge you. She has her site or her page Empowered on Facebook. If you don't follow it, make sure you go there now. But put your story out there on her page. Put it on ours, please. We need that. I think that's what people respond to. They need to have the face recognition with the people who are at risk here. So make sure that you share those, please, please, please. We encourage you to do that. So thank you. All right, where are we at?
I don't know, you're in charge.
This handout, well, wherever it went, Tom, I saw it was up there. The district did just put this out yesterday, so you're going to see it floating around, but utilize that. Where can they find this? I know it's on the website, but
It's very prominent on the MEVSD website. Yeah,
correct.
When you go to the MEVSD website, I believe there's a pop-up, right, for levy information. Click there.
Okay.
Yep.
Hard copies
Yep.
in your mailbox soon. All right, Tom, we're gonna move right along here. All right, so we have this QR code. It's the same as the one that you have on your agenda, but if you want to go ahead and scan that, if you need to hook up to the Wi-Fi, if you brought your laptop, we're going to get to that at some point. So if you want to go ahead and try to hook up to the Wi-Fi, it is The Rock, capital T, capital H, capital E, capital R, OCK with an exclamation mark. So if you need to hook up to that Wi-Fi, go ahead and get yourself set up now. Again, that's The Rock with capital T, capital H, capital E, capital R, lowercase OCK, and an exclamation mark. Yeah. That one is? Oh, never mind, just kidding. Okay, so the one that's on your agenda is the Mind+9. This is the volunteer one. So yes, scan this one. I saw a lot of you doing it, but if you scan the volunteer QR code right now, many of you have already done this and said how you want to get involved, but if you could scan that for me now, go ahead and fill it out. It takes 2 seconds, but that will also help us to know which building you associate with, so we know which staff lead and building lead can bug you. You're going to get kind of grouped into another group per building.
And we're only going to ask you to do, again, 4 things.
Canvassing,
Right.
Mind+9, put your yard sign out.
Yep.
And
And
vote.
if you will, not everybody's going to want to do this, but we are going to ask for a group of social media monitors just to be out there monitoring traffic, monitoring things that said. We are not going to get into arguments online. But when we see misinformation, this is what we did last time, that needs an answer, we're going to provide one answer, and then we're moving on. We're not going to get no back and forth, and we're not going to argue about alternative facts and all of that stuff. But we are just going to hit it one time with a key fact, boom, move on. And so we are going to ask for some folks' help with that, and that's really going to be on Facebook. We don't really work on, I'm going to offend somebody here, but we're not like going to go on Nextdoor because it's like a cesspool. So we're not even going to bother, right? So we'll spend our time on Facebook with answering those types of things.
But we're honestly going to be selective about Facebook. We're not going on the public pages like Marysville in the Know and the Moms in the Know and everybody who thinks that they know, but they really don't. So, yeah.
Right.
All right. So give you a couple more seconds to fill that out. It's just, I think there's a few drop downs, enter in your name, and then that'll all populate to me so I can give those to our lovely building leads. What's that?
We're going to have Leanne do her thing next.
Yep.
Okay.
Leanne, are you ready? No, we didn't. All right, you can go ahead and go to the next one, Tom, and then we're going to have Leanne come up because she is, oh, wait, next one. We're not here yet. Where did the one, I think we got out of order. The one, that one, yes. Leanne's going to have some fun with a couple volunteers, maybe, to come up and role play how to deal with difficult people.
Like me. Okay, so like Steve and Erica were saying, our goal is not to get into a bunch of back and forth with people online or in person or over the phone. You're going to want to. Like, it's going to fire you up. It's going to make you want to say all the things you've ever wanted to say. But we're just going to pull back. We're going to hit them hard, like they said, with one fact. So you've got that sheet that everybody has now. From here, you're going to have access to that handout online from the school. I'm sure it will get mailed out at some point, or it will come to you in some way. So when you're not sure what to say, use those to guide you, okay? I still pull those up and look over them. Like, all right, I want to make sure I get this information correct. So, and we do want you to step out and say, if you see something that's really not right, it is okay to put your one fact out there and then move on. Like, be brave, do something hard, and go for it. So, we also want you to practice having these hard conversations. So we're gonna role play one, and then we'll take a minute, just real quick, not like in the summer where we spent like a half an hour doing it. Just a real quick turn to your neighbor, ask a question, make somebody think of an answer, use your little fact sheet that you've got, and just practice it, because once you practice it one time, then it doesn't feel so hard to do it the next time, okay? Cade, would you like to heckle me with a question? Sure. I wasn't sure where you went.
I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere.
So I don't quite understand why I need to give more money for this levy. Like, doesn't the school have enough money? Like, why do they need more of my money?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. We feel like the school has a lot of money, but did you know it's been 17 years since the last new money levy? Like, my daughter's not even 17 yet, and she's been going to this school since kindergarten. And we're about to lose 30 teacher positions, which is going to impact every student in every way. And then I'm done. Cade could say something back to me, and I'm probably just going to let it die right there. Okay?
Direct them to the website.
Or direct them to the website, direct them to somebody who can answer their questions. So I know we all get lots of questions, and people are like, well, what about this? What about that? I don't know. I'm not the treasurer. I'm not the superintendent. I'm not on the board. I just send those people that way, okay, to the people who can answer the questions.
Bill
All right.
Keck is the president of the school board. I just give everybody his cell number when they ask me. So.
That's not untrue. So take your little fact sheet, turn to someone next to you, somebody be the person that asks a hard question, give a quick response, and then trade. We got 2 minutes. I'm going to time it.
Yeah, but make sure you lock it back. Hey, can I have that water?
Half of the hands went up from August. So,
Yeah. Yes. Got it. Can't waste gum.
But you're supposed to eat it.
I'm gonna save it. It's okay.
I know, but
Here, you're gonna need that again.
I'm going to tell them to switch in a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if you haven't switched, it's time to switch. Okay, time's up. Raise your hand if that felt really weird. Yeah, thank you for being honest. Raise your hand if it felt weird to look at someone and ask a question and then you're on the spot and you had to answer it. Okay? And now you did it already. So you did it one time, so now you can do it again, right? All right, now to the big stuff.
So before we go there, I want to talk about one thing objection-wise, because this is important. Did anybody use the objection? Well, I understand. Why didn't they do an income tax this time? Anybody heard that one maybe on social media? Right? That's been out there, right? And that's hey, that is a legit thing that's out there, and we understand that. Again, we aren't the decision makers, right? That's the board's decision. But as I said earlier, we 100% support the board's decision to go with a property tax. And so I think that being the newest objection, I'm just going to talk about that for a minute. First of all, I'll just give you all our rationale on why we supported that. Again, in the fall, we identified 5,000 people that 100% told us, I am voting for this thing, right? As a 5.5 mil property tax levy. That does not mean I'm going to vote for it if you make it an income tax. For the average homeowner, a 0.75% income tax costs them more annually than a property tax bill. So while certainly some folks benefit, some folks don't benefit when you move from one to the other, generally speaking, our concern was we were going to alienate part of our voter base by doing that. We were concerned about it enough, we actually did a survey of our 5,000 voters, and we definitely figured out we were probably going to lose at least 20% of them. So now we've lost them. Now we no longer have 5,004 voters. Now we have to go out and find new people to replace them. That's what cost so much money and time in the fall. So that is one reason we supported it. The other reason we supported it, this is a wonderful opportunity in that the city and the schools have done a wonderful job working together on the TIF agreements that everybody was concerned with the first go around, and crafted an agreement where if we pass this levy, 100% of the new money that comes from this levy will, even the TIF money, will go to the schools. That doesn't happen if it's an income tax. That just doesn't happen. And I don't know about you all, but I actually sat at a school function not that long, about a month ago, and I sat across the table from a guy, and he's like, yeah, somebody's saying about that income tax. That's crazy. They'd lose my vote tomorrow. So while it may sound attractive, and while it may sound to a certain group of voters like that would be a great thing, and it may sound when you look at social media like, oh, all of a sudden the floodgates will open and all those people will come out and vote for it, we can't count on that. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, that opportunity to get what would be over $900,000 in money we otherwise would not because of the agreement with the city is also huge. So that's why we support that. Now, pretty hard to tell somebody that in a quick objection handling thing, but just wanted to give you all some background on that.
Quite frankly, we found that a lot of people that were saying, oh, they should have done an income, they were no voters regardless. So let's be honest, it was an excuse. And
just like the TIFs were an excuse the first time.
Yes.
Frankly. So just being
Yes.
very, very blunt here, folks. That's kind of our reality. So,
Yeah.
So we want to address that. We want to hit that head on, is that's part of the issues that are out there. Hey, and I get it. My dad's a farmer. My dad's never voted for any tax increase of any kind in his entire life. So it wouldn't matter, right? But I understand these things cost him more money, but he makes it up in other ways. So I'm only somewhat sympathetic. So anyway. But we wanted to address that, and we wanted to hit that one head on as a new thing that's out there.
All right, let's get to mine plus 9. So Tom, I think we need to go backwards. Yeah, all right. So if you brought your laptop, you're going to want to use that now. If you don't have a laptop, you can do this on your phone. But we are going to ask everybody to scan the QR code.
They need Google Sheets, right?
Yes, it's a Google Sheet. So if you don't have that app on your phone, you're going to want to
so step
download
one
that
is,
too.
if you don't have Google Sheets, download Google Sheets onto your phone.
Yep.
So that's step one. Just takes a second.
So we'll give you a second to get this spreadsheet pulled up. Yes. Yeah, so the QR code is up here for the voter adoption that we are about to do. So Tom, if you want to adjust your camera and pull that document up. All right. So basically, as Steve mentioned, we have identified almost 5,000 supporters. Now, according to many of the people that have already tried to access this doc and actually put their names in, there are a lot of people that aren't on here. So we actually have identified now more than what we originally had thought. So let's take a look here, though. Why aren't those red anymore? All right. It is? Okay. Okay. That's what we were afraid of. Okay, so this may or may not work. We all know that technology can be lovely, but
If it doesn't work tonight, you can do it when you get home tonight.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yep. All right. So, all right, I think we're refreshed now. So if you take a look at column A, the red column, that is where you are going to put your name next to somebody that is to your right that you know that you can
Don't
get.
do it yet.
Not yet.
Not
Yes.
yet.
We're just talking right now, so don't worry about filling this in. But you're going to look at that first tab labeled voters, and you are going to look at columns B and C. B and C are those identified supporters. You're going to choose 9 of those people. It takes a while to scroll all the way through 5,000, but if you know somebody specific you're looking for, it's all in alphabetical order, of course. But when you find somebody that you know and that you can be responsible for bugging and pushing to the polls, put your name in column A next to theirs. After that, after you have picked your 9 people and put your name next to 9 different people, you're going to go to the second tab there at the bottom. So if you want to, nope, in the document, sorry. Yep. So go to the second tab where it says adopter info. So up at the top left, Tom. Yep. You're going to click on that, and that's where you're going to put your information. So make sure after you have identified your 9 people and claimed responsibility for getting them to the polls, you tell us about you now. So you're going to put your name, your email, your phone number on this tab so that our lovely Shelly and Tara and can, I guess, bug you and check on you and say, hey, you doing your job? Are you making sure these people are voting? And then if you want to look at additional voters there, Tom, you went through the whole list of 5,000 people and you didn't see your name on there, or your husband's name, or your daughter's name that you know is a registered voter and a supporter. Great. Now you can add them. So those people who are not on that original list, that tab, the first tab, as an identified voter, you can add them on this tab. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you're just simply going to add your name and then the people that you know are identified supporters to follow. So first name, last name, address, phone number, any demographics that you have on them, basically. We want you to fill that out for us. So those are the first 3 tabs. And then we also have the important info tab up at the top. Yep. And this is going to be super helpful because a lot of you are like, oh, I'm not comfortable reaching out to this person. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. So Shelly has taken it upon herself to script this out for you. So if you're wanting to make a phone call or just text or send an email, pretty much you can copy and paste word for word what we have here to those adopted voters. First things first, by March 7th, so that's your due date, you need to identify and contact those people. So whoever you've adopted, by March 7th, you better have made sure that they know who you are and that you are responsible for getting them to the polls. But yeah, copy and paste this. Thank you for supporting the students of MEVSD. Our goal is to remind you of the importance of voting, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to go back to voters, scroll all the way over where it says voter ID next to your person. It's a drop down. So voter ID, if you click on that, you get to, and I'm assuming that we are geniuses and we know these people are all supporters. But if by chance somebody has changed their mind after you've talked to them, please let us know. So under voter ID, are you able to click on that, Tom? Oh, okay. Well, you have the options of a yes, no, or undecided. So we're asking you by March 7th to have that step complete. Identify yes, no, or undecided for your people that you've adopted.
We're going to have a leg breaker crew that'll be able to go out. I'm just kidding.
Right. All right. So then the next step is the yard sign. So you will have a due date for, if you want to go back to the important info for me, Tom. Oh, nope, the important info tab, sorry. Up at the top. So you can do the yard sign in the first contact. You don't have to wait and contact them again. The important info, the last tab. Yep. Perfect. So if you want to, can you scroll back over so that we can see all of that? There we go. Perfect. But by 3:15, we want to know who needs a yard sign, obviously, because that's the day that we're putting them out. So if you want to go ahead and make that contact all at once, go for it. Find out if they're a yes, no, undecided, and then say, hey, do you need a yard sign? But again, we ask that those two steps are done by 3:15. And you're going to, back on that first tab, you don't have to go there though, Tom, stay here. But back on that first tab, you need to make sure you go in and select that you have done that. If it's blank, then Shelly's going to be like, oh, you're not doing your job, and she's going to call you and bug you and say, why haven't you made that contact yet? So. Right. No, so if you go back to the voter tab, Tom, and you go to the yard sign option, scroll over to K, and it's not going to let you. But okay. There are options. So you can say if they already have one, if they need one, that's all in the drop down for you. So just make sure you select whatever it is that they need Erica, or don't need.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
I guess.
So let's say I'm scrolling through and I'm picking my 9.
Yep.
Right? And I come across somebody and you already took them.
Yeah.
But I know they like me more than you.
Yeah.
Can I just type right over your name?
No. You cannot. So if your person that you think you want is already taken, don't touch them.
Unless it's you. You can
exactly.
claim yourself. We're okay with that.
Yes.
Right.
So I claimed some people that I was afraid might be here tonight, and they're not, so I'm keeping them. But yeah, if you're here tonight and you see that your name is already taken by somebody, you are allowed to remove that person's name and put your own. You might let them know that you did that, but
well,
yeah.
Okay, so what if I want to pick one? I'm an overachiever.
Uh-huh.
I want to pick 57 people.
Go for it.
Can I do that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No consequences?
Nope.
Right.
No. But the only thing is you're probably going to get confused and forget who those 57 people are.
So only do what you will do.
But not only that, I'm thinking that we should probably make our own copy of this spreadsheet. So if you're familiar with Google Sheets, you can make a copy. So do that. And then you can sort and see your name at the top of the list with who you have claimed. But please don't sort this. Don't sort, don't delete. Don't sort, delete, or change anything. The only thing that you are touching is under column A, which is your name, and the drop downs but do not mess with any of the voter data, please. And then obviously, you have your adopter info, which is your own info on the next tab that you're going to put. But on this particular sheet, do not mess with anything other than your name and the drop downs.
So, okay, another question, Erica. I'm
Yeah.
talking to somebody about this, and they're like, well, I want to do that too. Can they? Can I give them the QR code?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, Brianna, you actually brought, did you bring some cards for everybody tonight? Okay.
We'll get you
Never,
some.
we're good. This QR code is going to be floating around all over on Empowered, on our Facebook page. It's on the website. You can actually find this step-by-step guide on our website too. So if you're not able to do it
5,000
now,
people, we need 500 volunteers,
yeah,
right? So spread the word. So when you talk to your folks, say, I need you to adopt 9 people too.
right.
Get them to commit too. That's how we'll get this done.
Yep. All right, so let's go back to that important info real quick. 4th tab over. Yep. Awesome. Okay, so then early voting starts on April 8th, and you can, like I said, copy, paste that into a text, send it to all of your people. Once you have done that, go back to that first tab and select that you have made that 3rd attempt or 3rd point of contact. There are 6 points of contact. You may not need all of those. Once your person says, after April 8th, if they're like, I voted, I'm done, you don't have to mess with them anymore. So you can just disregard and say, but we do need you to identify that. So the 5th attempt is to identify that voting plan. So it's going to be important for you to ask that person, hey, I know you're a supporter, but what's your voting plan? Are you going to vote early? Are you waiting till election day? What are you going to do? And I know it feels very invasive. It's uncomfortable, but do you need a ride? Hey, I'll come pick you up. I mean, whatever you have to do to make sure you know that they're going. Because a lot of people are going to say, oh, no, I'm going to wait till election day. Or, oh, I already voted. Well, we have like inside sources. And if they tell you they voted and you don't think so, we can check. So let us know. We don't know how they vote, but we can tell who has voted. So keep that in mind if you're questioning.
And
That's
just
public record,
to
for the
reiterate
record.
the one piece too, again, you can take more than 9 people, okay? It's okay, but don't take 25 if you're not going to follow through with all 25. So make sure that you can follow through with what you commit to, because this is the most important thing we're going to do this campaign. Cannot emphasize that enough. So following up with these folks and getting them to polls is critical. So if you want to take 25, we would love it, as long as you will follow up with all 25 of them consistently.
Yeah. All right, so take a couple minutes. We're going to float around and see if anybody has any questions, or if you want to flag us down if you have any questions. We want you to do this tonight. So if you're able to, we've allowed for a little more time here for you to do so. So scroll through, find your people, go ahead and text that link to some other people. If you don't have to be in this room, like Steve said, we need you to do it and then you to tell your 9 people to do it. So we need to get these people identified. So take a few minutes, fill it out, and we'll be back.
5?
Hello, hello.
Is yours
You're not
working?
on.
I'm
Take
in
about
too.
5 more minutes. I see some people still scrolling, and according to the spreadsheet, it looks like there's, well, okay, it was 65. Now there's 35 of you still in, so, and 37. So
Whatever
take
you
a
don't
few
get
more
done
minutes.
tonight, you can, or while we're here, you can get done at home tonight. While you all are scrolling, I want to share something with you all. So a lot of you have 18-year-olds in your house, or 18-year-olds. So there is a thing with Ohio law and voting. This is kind of crazy. I learned this the last time. So in order for your 18-year-old to be able to vote in this election, they have had to have been 18 before the November election. Isn't that stupid? Yeah, it is stupid. Write your lawmaker. I found this out the last time because my daughter wasn't able to vote. So if they were 18 in November and could have voted, well, bottom line is they have to be 18 before a general election. So if you have an 18-year-old in your household that was before November, Eric is telling me I'm a liar. This is what happened to us. Somebody else said they know I am. Oh my God, seriously? Maybe I'm wrong. This is what happened in 2023, is they would not, like my daughter wasn't able to vote because she was not 18 before the general election. But you're saying that's wrong?
All right, I called the Board of Elections on this because after we made that announcement at the last meeting, I'm sorry, I know. Well, we don't talk every day or anything. As long as your 18-year-old is registered to vote before April 8th, they're good. So don't freak out. Your 18-year-old has to be registered to vote before April 8th, and they are good to vote in this election.
So
And that was confirmed
you can believe my
by
facts.
my friend Gretchen at the Board of Elections, so we can go back on her if for some reason we're wrong. But
If you like Erica's alternative facts better than my facts, then you can roll with that. Yes.
yeah.
Right.
And you can still scroll and hopefully multitask and listen and scroll at the same time. But before too many people leave, we want to make sure that you know that there was a little bit of a misprint on the back side, Creekview in particular. So it does not say this on this sheet. So please don't go making copies and sharing this. We're going to make sure we fix it first before it gets shared out. But Creekview is also losing the art position that is not on here. So don't share this out. It's accurate, just missing one super important piece of information. Creekview's art program would be gone. So again, don't share that out.
And before you all take off too, students who are here for Students Grassroots, you all are going to meet for a few minutes after the meeting here with Brianna in the back, okay? Or she may come up front. But anyway, you guys stick around for a few minutes.
Speaking of students, can students adopt?
Why not?
Exactly. So I'm going to make my daughter adopt some people, and she can make phone calls. She can do all that. She doesn't have to be a voter to make sure other people vote. So definitely have your kids look at the list, or maybe give them 10 because you know 30 people, and then you can just divide and conquer amongst your family or whatever. But yes, kids can adopt as well. And then the question also came up about yard signs. So we have 2 yard signs floating out there, kind of like we have 2 Levy t-shirts. There's a red and a blue t-shirt, so we're not doing new t-shirts this time. Just make sure that you wear one of those as often as you can, and take a picture of yourself in public wearing that shirt and then post it. That would be cool too. But signs. We have the old and the new. So if you remember the red ones from the first go round, a lot of people still are hanging on to those, and we even have a whole bunch of those too. And then we have those flimsier paper plastic ones, that we did last time. So there's 2 different yard signs. They're both fair game. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be either or. So, okay. All right. It got really quiet, so should we go ahead and move on? There's still people. There's 50 people in here, so keep scrolling.
Keep picking people. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's what we need you to do. I will also say that one thing, and I promise this is going to be the only time that I say this. I know we said we weren't going to hound you for multiple things, but there's one other thing that we might ask you to do, and it's not everybody. This is totally volunteer, but we do want to develop some sort of social media team, I guess. The first go around, we had a little core committee of like 8 of us that were constantly monitoring the sites. So it's difficult to, everybody be everywhere at all times. But if maybe that core group, somebody that likes to scroll Facebook, and if you see, hey, so-and-so said this, shoot a text to the group, and then we can get on there and tackle those difficult conversations if you're not comfortable. Because some people don't want to get on there and publicly comment to somebody who's being difficult. So again, that core group that we're talking about, just to sort of, be a little army of social media warriors against the naysayers. So if you're comfortable doing that, come forward, let us know that you are more than willing to hop on Marysville, People in the Know, or all those other lovely pages, and monitor those for us, because we can't see everything. So
Speaking of social media, as long as we're asking you to do more things after we told you we weren't going to ask you to do more things, something that would be awesome, again, folks, facts are one thing. Facts aren't going to move a lot of people at this point. We do have to pull at some emotions. If you have a story about a teacher, and it can be a teacher who's going to be that we're going to lose, or just a teacher was awesome for your kid, or an experience that was awesome for your family as relates to Marysville schools, and you're willing to create 20, 30-second video on that you would be willing to share with us to put out on social media, we would greatly appreciate that. Those personal, the more we can personalize this, the more we can break this down to the level of those being impacted, both students as well as staff, I think is a huge help. So if you're willing to do that as part of your effort for us, we would greatly appreciate it.
yeah, email, if you want to jot this down, is mevsdcitizens@gmail.com. So if you can, or you can text us. We're happy to give our phone numbers. But if you have those,
our phone numbers are out there under the voter adopter info.
yeah, there you go. So you can find it there too. But shoot us those videos. We'll get them posted. We're more than happy to do that. So
The website, voteformevsd.com, also has the emails on there as well.
Yep. All right,
And a
questions.
big thank you, by the way, to Brianna Bizzaro, who's been
Yeah.
updating the website for us and handling a lot of the technology stuff, which we greatly appreciate.
Okay, time for questions.
That's amazing. That's awesome. We only
Thank you.
need 176 who didn't get it the last time to get it this time. Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Thank you. Anybody else? Y'all aren't going to make it that easy.
Anybody else have a cool story like that? We can take some uplifting stories if you want to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. All right. So she is not seeing herself on the identified voter tab as a supporter. So she was just asking, would she add herself there in that first tab or in the additional voter tab? We want you to go to that additional voter tab to add anybody, including yourself, that you have yourself identified as a supporter. Do not add anybody to that first tab of voters. Good? Okay. And then also put yourself in the adopter info as well. Okay.
No, I feel like we got it.
Okay. There may be questions that come up as you're going through the process of 9+9, and on that important info tab, we did put our lovely lead contacts information there for you. Steve and I are not on there, but we're obviously also able to take questions about that. But Shelley, Tara, Victor, they're also available to answer any questions that you might have about filling out that spreadsheet or contacting your people or anything that may come up throughout the process.
Now,
So.
you all should know, and please don't use this as a reason not to do this out, to do some of your outreach. We will be sending out a series of texts to everyone on this list as well. Just, hey, early voting starting this week, make sure you get out, here's the hours. So we will be sending those updates out as well, just as another touch point. But please, they need to hear from you directly, because that's just going to come from a service we're using. So the most powerful person to hear from is the person they know. But just so you know, that is going to happen.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. So if you want to go back to the dates, Tom, make sure that you put these dates in your calendar. Tonight, obviously, you don't need to worry about that. But
You all
if you
don't need to come to the committee
no,
meeting.
you
I mean,
do
you're
not.
welcome to. but
You
don't
do
have
not
to.
need to come to the committee meeting, but there are several of you. So those building leads that are here, parents or staff leads, make sure that you have those 3 dates for the committee meetings in your calendars. Again, everybody yard signs out on the 3/15 date, early voting on the 8th of April, and then of course Election Day on the 6th. And we'll keep you updated with things throughout, because you filled out that that volunteer info when you scanned the QR code earlier. So you're going to get updates from your building throughout. So what?
Important dates. Leanne, when are we doing the first canvassing? Yeah, make sure you go to Mamma Mia, by the way.
April 4th through 6th is our first canvassing weekend, and then our second canvassing weekend is April, I think that Friday is the 27th. So
Okay.
27th, 28th, 29th. So Scott and I will get you guys
Okay.
all that information. We're going to need about
25th, 26th, 27th. Yep, 25th, 26th, and 27th for the second round of lit drops.
But
yes.
the first one's going to be the weekend of the 4th.
Yes.
So that's something we really could use y'all's help with. And you know, while we're plugging the musical, if y'all have not been to one of the musicals, you got to go. I'm telling you. It's amazing. So support the kids. Get out there and check that out.
Okay, so
And then
definitely add
Canvas.
those 2
Canvas
weekends.
first, then
Yep.
you can go to the musical.
So the first weekend of April and the last weekend of April, those are the 2 that you need to put on your calendar for canvassing. But again, all that information will now come to your email because you've provided us with that information, and you'll hear from your particular building lead. So, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you guys for
think
being
we're
here,
done.
and let's go get them.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Remember, students, stick around.
And if you have questions, we're here. Come on forward.